got a great matchup here for you good people. We've got a Monster Hunt that would be drawn by Matthew Weldon and written by Mike Barron out there. And of course, we've got Inglorious Rex, illustrated and drawn by Sean Davis and do you pronounce it? Pardon me. Is it Yanzi? Yanzi Lin out there doing some great work on that. Gosh, I forget who did the colors on there. We'll look in just a second there. But some great stuff. Also written by Shane and Yanzi out there as well. So one of the things that we like to do kind of a quick review, but what's the fun in that? Let's go ahead and put two together. This was totally random. Bear was actually going to do a head-to-head with Inglorious Rex and Wraith of God out there. Aaron Lopresti's book. Just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and finally Bear was like, gosh, I need to read this. So everybody else is watching the Super Bowl. Bear decides to read not just one comic, but two. So we got both of these checked out here. Do a quick review and then go ahead, put them head-to-head and figure out which one people is the champion. Yes, indeed. So let's go ahead, get right on into it. All right, Inglorious Rex. Let's go ahead and start out with that one first. Inglorious Rex. The best way to describe it, monster boxing. So basically, kind of think of what was the one the other couple years back? Pacific Rim. I think they had the one where it was like robots fighting monsters or something like that. I basically think of Pacific Rim meets Rocky. So you have kind of a Rocky story. A young guy here, Alex, he's lost his brother in the ring. He died fighting. He's got a kind of chip on his shoulder there. So he's doing normal human boxing and is recruited by a fight promoter out there. It's for one last chance. The city, they didn't get their the fight that they wanted there because the brother died. I think his name was Luke or something like that. The brother died, so Alex here says, you know what? I'm gonna pick up the mantle and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight the big bad guy there. So, he goes through some training and all that sort of stuff to finally. Well, let me show some of the good artwork for you good people here. If we can get to it, there we go. There we are. A little bit closer there. One of the big differences between the books is actually this one comes signed. Monster Hunt. We checked on it. Bear went back and checked, and it didn't come signed. At least the ones that Bear got. So, anyways, they got the. Oh, there's the big bad guy there. They become connected with a giant monster. Let me see if I can find one of the monsters in here. There he is. There he is, right there. So they kind of become kind of connected, like, if you've seen the Pacific Rim movie, something akin to that. So the human is sort of attached to the monster there and is fighting. There he is, right there. There we go. Pretty cool. I thought this one was pretty funny. He was trying to get, what was it? Only one cow for a whole day. For a spearing Rex out there. I thought that was, there he is. There's the cow being eaten. There we go, pretty cool. Anyways, kind of some humorous stuff there, but basically Rocky kind of told as a monster, kind of a monster book there, so they go and fight. Let's see, there we go, there they are fighting. There they are, there's the Rex. Anyways, he's fighting the big enemy there. Oh, well, spoiler alert, people. Sorry about that. Fighting the other big bad guy there. They go into the ring. After some training, some montage, all that fun stuff. Both of them get knocked out and they decide to challenge each other to a fisticuffs. Forget the monsters. Let's just go fist to fist there. So, sorry if I'm spoiling that for some people out there. But there you go. There's kind of the gist behind the story there. Very fun book. A very interesting book there. Kind of a basic story, so again, just if you think of Rocky out there, this sort of underdog out there, apparently you've got to be, apparently they're linked by cloning. Bear didn't catch the entire thing, but I don't know if they come from the person or if they're just linked genetically or something like that. So even though he's fighting in his brother's Rex, Rex is what they call the sort of monsters here. Even though he's fighting in the monster Rex there, it had to be connected genetically. So even though he's his brother, it's not. He has some trouble kind of getting into the rhythm and all that sort of stuff. He has to learn how to breathe and re-fight. He has to learn how to fight yet again. Even though he's a professional boxer out there, so it comes up to the thrilling conclusion there. They fight it out and everything. And then there's kind of a little bit of an extra there at the very end. Bear's not gonna spoil it by any means, but there you go. I would say kind of a simple story. One of the things that Bear tries to talk about is simple stories, but with complex characters out there. I wouldn't say the characters are super complex or anything like that. Alex there, maybe Bear kind of read it the wrong way or something like that. He kind of comes across as a little bit of a dummy. He just has kind of the one focus of winning the match and avenging his brother's death. If Bear had a nickel every time they said, he's his brother and he's got to avenge him and all that, a Bear would have a handful of nickels out here. So, they kind of repeated some of that stuff a little bit. It's kind of a very simple story, but told really well. Some good artwork out there. Really good stuff. A couple of things, Bear wished that some of the stuff, like there was I'd have to go find it here, but there was a page where he's riding a motorcycle in there. It looked really cool. I wish that was a double page spread. They ended up adding some stuff at the very bottom there. It kind of took away from some of that. But no, some really great artwork from Shane and, of course, Yanzi out there doing some good work. A very good book. If you were out there getting your normal Marvel or DC books, 10, 15, 20 years ago or something like that, it would fit right in. Kind of a good starting story. Like he said, a very simple story for the most part until like the last page or two, and then they try to make it, the world is bigger than you think and that sort of deal. I think they kind of sold it a little short. You're reading through the book and you're like, okay, why are monsters fighting? Where did they get the monsters from? Why are they this and that? Didn't really answer any of that. They just kind of went straight into the fighting and that sort of deal. I think that they should have maybe done a little bit more talking a little bit about that. A lot of stuff kind of got repeated over and over again where they could take that out. They also had the girlfriend here. She had kind of a subplot that, it worked its way into the story, but it wasn't really needed. If they would have taken some of that out, added a little bit more kind of what was going on in the kind of bigger world context, I think it would have been a little bit better. But again, a story that you could follow along with. Bear's had some problems in the past where he'd start a book and it's like, okay, I forgot the character's name. I gotta go back. Bear was trying to remember his name, so they didn't forget this time. Old Alex over there, but anyways, a very interesting, simple story. I wouldn't say super complex, but hey, you know what? If you're just wanting to give it to a friend or something like that, you don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops and figure a bunch of stuff out to get into the book out there. Kaiju. Grant corrects Bear out here. Interesting characters we can empathize with. Yes, indeed. I would, with the whole save the cat thing. We're on board with the character there. First couple of pages or something like that makes him out to be sympathetic. They got some of the back dealing behind the scenes there with the main bad guy where they're trying to rig the fight out there. So. Anyways, a very good book. The total, I'm not saying bad or anything like that, but the total opposite story-wise here with Monster Hunt. Monster Hunt, man, oh man, Bear really wanted to enjoy this book. Starting out the first couple pages, great Matthew Weldon art, very interesting beginning to all this stuff, but you start getting into the book and it gets really... You have to have read Nexus and also both of the Bigfoot Bill series. Lone Star not so much because they kind of talk about him a little bit there, but there was some stuff. Bear hasn't read Nexus. He hasn't read the second Bigfoot Bill. So there was a lot of gaps in there to begin with. Number one. Number two, it was. I know this is a disparaging term out there, but it kind of like the Marvel movie. So you have a. Well, let me get into the story here. Nexus finds a planet. Well, he starts off while he says he's dreaming. He dreams about a planet that he found that's basically hell. He goes to hell and ends up in a sort of portal, I suppose. Comes to present day, possibly our Earth. It's kind of a little confusing there, but possibly our Earth, probably the Bigfoot Bill Earth, if Beer would have to guess here. So they got all the cryptoids out there kind of running around and stuff like that. Nexus comes to Earth. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, we've got a giant. I don't know, a giant planet-eating monster out there that's going to eat Earth. He needs to get the help of Bigfoot Bill and the Kraken, more the Kraken than anything, to help. So different Eldritch gods out there they're going to be fighting. So he has to create a portal. Yada yada yada. So they get sort of the gang together. He finds Lone Star. Lone Star helps him out. Lone Star helps him out finding Bigfoot Bill out there. They kind of get together, discuss the plan. There's one or two other characters in there. I'm not sure if there are two female characters or if it was one female character just repeating. Not sure. Anyways, they get the group together there to fight the monster, and away they go. Man, oh man, you really had to read a number of the other books to figure out what was going on with it. And number two, the whole end of the world thing was kind of treated as the sort of Josh Whedon, James Gunn, Marvel type situation there, where everything's a pun, everything's a joke. Every other page, it's just sure we're trying to save the world, but hey, let's do a couple puns in the meantime. There's a whole section there where there is some like beach cops that are out there that are they're gonna try and arrest Lone Star and Bigfoot Bill. Apparently, I don't know. At some point, they go through the portal and they come, I believe, to like our Earth, or maybe the Lone Star Earth, or something like that. So, kind of interesting where they're talking about some of the TV stuff. They have kind of a TV episode that's like Jerry Springer. So they break into Jerry Springer to go to some of the stuff that's going on there. There they are. There is the gang together out there. This whole page right here, they're planning like how they're gonna save the world here. A couple pages before that, then all of a sudden Lone Star comes out and is like, "Here, let me help save this guy's skateboard from the bully." Okay, all right, that doesn't have anything to do with what's going on, but hey, at least it gives us the character of Lone Star out there. So, anyways, Anyways, Beer was trying to say the complete opposite of Inglorious Rex here as far as storyline. There's the one lady. I'm not sure who she was. I'm assuming maybe a Nexus character out there. I could be wrong. But there we are. There's Lone Star. Matthew Weldon does some great artwork here. Lone Star looks a little bit different. He looks like he's gained like 15 pounds or something. I'm not sure. Doesn't sound like him at all. There is Bigfoot Bill. A number of the characters just sound a little bit off. Matthew Weldon does a great job here. Does a great job with all the artwork here. But very, very interesting. I would love to tell you who did the coloring. This is all we've got for the page. So thanks to Doug Tenaple and Mike Barron. But no thanks to Matthew Weldon. No thanks to the colorist. No thanks anywhere else. They also have at the very end here, like an advertisement. You get part of the covers. But it didn't show Mike's. Did show Mike's cover here. So Bear had an issue with that in the box open there. They had. Let me see if I can get to it. Bear's claws here. Sorry, people. Come on, man. There we go. Advertisement, a 2-page advertisement for Mike Barron's book. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But hey, if you're gonna put a thank you to Doug Tenaple and Mike Barron out there, why not list some of the art of their artists? Maybe the cover art and stuff like that. There you go. So, kind of the opposite problem. A very complicated story, and you would really have to get in and know a lot of the characters here and the background and all that stuff to kind of pick up with what Monster Hunt's doing. Bear left it more confusing than when he started. It was, I'd probably need to read it 2 or 3 more times just to be able to tell you exactly what's going on with the story. But there you go. The day is saved at the end of the day, and all's well out there. But I don't know. Monster Hunt 1 was really good. I believe Mike Miller out there wrote. I know he did the artwork for it. I believe he wrote it. This one, Mike Barron. I, it just something felt a little bit off with some of the characters out there as far as how they were portrayed. Again, kind of the sort of Marvel sort of humor out there with it, with the end of the world. It just seemed a little bit off for some of the characters out there. They had an issue where the cryptoids, they were trying to find the cryptoids to help them out. They're all in a bar. I guess that's in a second book of Bigfoot Bill out there. They were all in a bar. Nobody wanted to help them, but then the vampires were going to help out from Lone Star, the vampires out there. I don't believe they ever showed up, or if they did, it was just very brief or something like that. So that was kind of a wasted opportunity there. So, yeah, Bearhead wanted to really enjoy it. Always loved Matthew Weldon's art. Nothing that Matthew Weldon did out there was any of the cause of it. But if Bear had to say anything, he's gonna have to give the thumbs up to Inglorious Rex out here. Inglorious Rex, once again, a simple story, not super complicated characters out there, but easy enough where if you give somebody you know or you love, or maybe just, like Bear does, go to the library or something like that, you can pick this up right away. Very easy, very simple book to pick up. Monster Hunt, you would have to figure out, okay, all these 3 different characters. You don't necessarily have to read Monster Hunt 1 to know what's going on, but it's a nice comparison. I'd love to do a comparison between Monster Hunt 1 and 2. I would have to say a hair for Mike Miller in the first one there. He knows his characters and is doing some really great art. Matthew Weldon always doing some great art. Just I felt like it was just a hair off, just a little bit, like you said. Lone Star felt like he put on the pounds or something like that. He ate too much Valentine's candy out there. But anyways, the other thing, not a whole lot of swag with Monster Hunt. Plenty. I got more of it. Hold on, where is it? I mean, plenty of swag out here. You got your, let's see, stickers. You've got your cards. You've got your magnets. Bear's actually got a magnet. What was that? What was the saying? He says, he's not a potato. He's a real boy. I got that up on the refrigerator out there. Why Bear has a refrigerator? That's for another time out there. The other thing, probably the last thing here, real quickly, show the interior pages and stuff like that. This one is, let's see, can we see that? There we go. Stapled, so it just kind of folds open. Up there, there's the center page there. It just kind of folds open. This one actually has the, what do you call that? The perfect bound, the square bound. Here we go on the back there. Just a more put together. Book. It was nice to kind of have not only all of the. Here we go. Here's another magnet here of the 9 Lives comics. He did really good with the swag. Got the card over there of Sumo Shane. Very cool. Yeah, and also had the signature there as well. So just a number of things like that pushed Inglorious Rex over the top there. Now that Bear's read it, since he was going to put it up against Wraith of God out there, I would probably say Wraith of God. So probably Wraith of God is 2022 Book of the Year out there. Wanted to check out Inglorious Rex before he made that assessment out there. But there you go. There is Inglorious Rex, a good book. Not necessarily gonna beat Wraith of God out there, but you know what? It's gonna beat 90% DC hell, let's just go 100%. 100% it's going to be that Monster Hunt 2, of course. But yeah, Inglorious Rex, you can give it to family, friends, or something like that that are going to have an issue with it. Monster Hunt, you're going to really need to kind of explain some of the stuff that goes on with it. In addition to just the different stuff with the books, fulfillment, all that sort of deal. So there we go. There we are, giving the thumbs up there to Inglorious Rex. There we go. Good job, Shane. Humans, thank you for watching this video. If you wish to have more, please like and subscribe. And don't forget that bell for notification. It would please Bear very much. You don't want to see Bear bad, do you? Grrrr.